I'm not a role model. I'm a warning. Let me be a warning to you.
It is absurd and insane that we have a rogue US military contractor handling our most sensitive personal data. Your devices are going to be monitored 24 hours a day. Palantir's had a very secretive contract with GCHQ. Palantir has a contract running our nuclear missile program. We have no national security. This company should be nowhere near the NHS. We have entered into a kind of colonial contracts with this superpower. One of the key things about understanding Trump and Silicon Valley and that relationship is understanding the role of Peter Thiel in that relationship. And you can see that very, very clearly in who Trump picked to be his vice president. And, you know, he's a massive investor in all of these other companies too. Jeffrey Epstein, of course, he was a co-investor in the company, an Israeli surveillance company that at the time of Jeffrey Epstein's death was his most valuable asset.
Now, Alex Karp isn't the only rather alarming individual at the top of Palantir. You also have Peter Thiel, who is also a profoundly strange man.
You really have to look at who Peter Thiel is and what he believes in. And one thing he does not believe in is the nation state. He is very explicit about how actually there is a better way of running countries, and that is as a private corporation.
We just concluded a very successful NATO summit here in Turkey, and I want to thank President Erdogan, who's really a great man. He's a great leader. He's a friend of mine, been a friend of mine for a long time. He's a strong person, a very strong personality, and that's why he runs such a successful and good company.
What did you say?
Person.
Legal fiction. A legal document issued by a government with your details applied to it, details which, all of them, including your name, has been given to you. None of this is of your creation.
A very strong personality.
Personality is a legal personality, essentially a government acting as a corporation under a corporate name. Hence, UK PLC.
UK PLC.
And that's why he runs such a successful and good company.
Company? A dead legal fiction. A company has no name, no authority, no being and no real existence until the other personality is actually created and then runs the company.
He's a strong person, a very strong personality, and that's why he runs such a successful and good company.
To be the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom.
UK PLC.
Good company, country, and really I would say a great country.
This is why your birth certificate is not a form of ID. It has nothing to do with you. This is to do with an informant reporting to the state that they have an unsolicited entity and it needs to be recognised by the state so that they can claim benefits and borrow money for you, for the people who look after you, so that they can then enrol you into the government's issued national insurance contributions and take tax from you. That is the sole purpose of having those falsified details that you copy and paste and recreate on documents that holds nothing of your creation.
Look, I wasn't actually going to tell you this, but, well, I sort of half anticipated this problem, and so this afternoon I went to see Dodgy Ken the lawyer.
Dodgy Ken! Is he out already?
He got out this morning. prison governor doesn't know yet, so I was lucky to catch him, really. Now, if you'd just like to sign here...
Ooh, signing? Hey, that's important. I'm your man. I'm a good signer. Bloody right, here goes.
Right, well, no need to worry about being the end of the line, because I am now your legally adopted son.
What? You're my son?
I'm afraid so.
But you are my son?
Yep, indeedy do. Hello, Dad. Hey, that's a point. I couldn't tap you for a bit of pocket money, could I?
Shut up! You bastard, you made me sign this! Oh, God, it's true! It's true! Hang on. This is a marriage certificate.
I know, Dad. He'd run out of adoption ones. But he said that that would still be legally binding.
Well, it has been reported that American citizen,
somebody who dwells within the city area, under a jurisdiction. When you travel outside of that jurisdiction, you become a foreigner, not within.
and human rights attorney Dan Kovalik was recently detained in the UK under their Anti-Terrorism Act. Now, we have heard of other people being detained. They've been quite aggressive. Kit Clarenberg was detained. Richard Medhurst was detained. They're both British nationals. This is the first time I'm hearing of an American who has been detained. Dan is here to share what exactly happened. Dan Kovalik, welcome back to the show. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks, Kim. I'm really happy to be here. Thank you.
Well, especially in light of what has just happened. So tell us exactly what happened. So were you flying through London? Were you flying to London? And that was your destination?
My destination was Liverpool. And I flew to Liverpool, to John Lennon International Airport in Liverpool, ironically, as it turns out. And they were clearly waiting for me. I mean, in fact, when I was walking up to the, where they check your passport, the kiosks there, I noticed this guy behind them who looked kind of serious. And I didn't think it had anything to do with me, but I just noted there's a serious guy just kind of looking around. I wonder what he's up to. And then when I went up to show my passport, the guy was very friendly, welcomed me.
And Bourne, where is he now?
Dead in a ditch. Drunk in a bar in Mogadishu. Who knows?
I think I do. I had a deal going down in Berlin last week. And during the buy, both our case officer and the seller were killed.
But then when he scanned my passport, he saw something come up on his screen immediately. His demeanor changed, and he lifted my passport and gave it to that guy who I had noted behind him. And that guy said, come this way. And I was brought to a room where he and another guy
Bourne
read me my rights, which were basically that I had no rights, that I was being held under the anti-terrorism laws. I was not being arrested. I was being detained, but the fact I was being detained meant I had even less rights.
What's the nature of your visit to Naples?
I could not refuse to answer questions. I didn't have the right against self-incrimination. I didn't have the right to refuse to give my devices if asked. And he said, I'm going to ask you for them. He said, and you won't have the right to withhold your passcodes, and I will ask you for those. And also, you'll be fingerprinted, DNA swabbed, photographed. All those things happen. All the above happened.
So we need to talk about data, because data now is the biggest global commodity in the world. It supersedes oil, it supersedes gold, silver, you name it. I repeat, data is the biggest commodity.
Look, I don't know what you did.
Is this a risk for those of us that fly through the UK to get to another destination?
I would think so. Yes, I would think so.
And I don't know who you're working for.
But the court said that the EU's existing sanctions-based broadcasting ban on RT applies not only to traditional media companies. I mean, this is really unsettling that they're now doing this to Americans. I thought that they weren't able to, that there was maybe a legal parameter against that for some reason.
But I promise you this.
No, I don't know why there would be.
You're going to play ball one way or the other.
I mean, in many ways, you have less. I'm not a U.S. I don't even have the rights of a UK citizen.
But also to any natural or legal person.
And if they could do this to a UK citizen, why couldn't they do this to a non-citizen?
Yeah,
I mean,
right. I suppose that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this little conundrum. Where is the city of America? And if you're not in America, how can you be a citizen?
And directly or indirectly responsible for making RT content publicly available, including donation-funded bloggers.
Donation-funded bloggers, corporate entity, monetary income, taxable corporate entity.
That's what's going on.
Yeah, so a lot of the questions revolved around Russia, as you'd expect.
So, just to put this into perspective, Amazon earned more from our data than their traditional business.
They particularly wanted to know whether I felt safe here, whether I'd been asked to do anything for money, whether I'd been approached by any officials or anything like that. You know, they had this very distorted view of Russia, I would say.
Now, think how much Amazon earned. Billions. They earn more from our data.
And I thought they gave me the proverbial cane when they were questioning, and they were particularly interested as well in my political beliefs and my family's political beliefs. You know, at one point I thought they were even going to ask what my cat's political beliefs were. It was ridiculous.
Those little harmless cookies, doesn't it sound funny? Can we twat your cookies? They are profiling you.
It felt very much like a real interrogation, you know?
They are profiling you. Same with your Tesco club card. You name it, hack and trace and track, yeah?
It was 2.5 hours. They referred back to things that I'd said. They'd made notes, extensive notes on all the things that I'd been talking about. They'd try and pick holes in some of the things that I said. And, you know, I'm sitting there thinking, I just want to go home. Like, I've done nothing wrong. I'm a British citizen, just trying to visit my family for the World Cup, and that's it.
Who's Nevins?
This is Tom Cronin, CIA operations officer calling from Langley, Virginia.
So why is data so valuable? Yeah. So our data is our intellectual property. So when we put it onto their corporate servers, remember corp means dead, corpse. When we put it onto their corporate servers, they then claim to own it. He who creates owns is one of the biggest lawful maxims going. So we own our data until we consent. It's all about consent. The devil loves his trickery.
Do you have a Jason Bourne in custody?
But even Jason Bourne was a complete fiction, with a government-issued passport and with a birth certificate, but it was all completely fake.
Yes, I do.
Listen, he's an agency priority target.
What everyone's really bothering about can't happen if you know who you are. If you're a living man or woman and you know that, and you don't go into their jurisdiction and you stay lawful.
I understand.
But do you know, even if you go playing in their jurisdiction, when you were incorporated into the system? I